Like, this is the problem with this economy. Look, they can't even hire someone to put this guy's mic on. They just leave it over in the corner every day. That's why he's screaming all the time.
And yet MSNBC is always talking about the recovery.
Yeah.
We're in such a state they can't afford a microphone for Al Sharpton.
Yeah.
I would think they'd be pissed about that. But here's more of the discussion from last night.
The president delaying part of an enactment has nothing to do with you and your colleagues saying you will not fund what is law. If we allow members of Congress to decide they're going to take a law and stop the funding, you can nullify any law you choose. That's not the basis of a democracy, Congressman.
It's not?
Well, it is the basis of a democracy when you read Article 1, Al. In fact, that's where the understanding is that the Congress controls the purse strings. The Congress decides who and what is to be funded from this government. And there have been plenty of examples over time in which there have been things that are not funded, from Yucca Mountain to many others, in which the Congress decides what this is. This is not about a debate on anything else except Congress doing its role, reflecting the respective views that we have about this law, and fully funding the government. Do not let your viewers tonight be mistaken. We are truly funding the government. We're simply saying, on the advice of others in the Democratic Party who said this law is not ready for prime time, we're saying we'll protect you from both, and that's what we're doing.
The Congress is saying that we will shut the government down, the Republicans, if we have to fund Obamacare. You're not just saying you don't want to fund it. You're saying you're going to do this, or we're going to shut the government down. The president is not saying that.
Yes, he is.
Republicans that have just criticized is not saying that. You guys are saying
yesterday.
More than you don't want to fund it. You say my way, or we're going to shut the whole government down.
Now, we just got to disagree with you here. The president's the one that brought up the Republicans are wanting to shut the government down. Harry Reid is saying he's not negotiating. Republicans are wanting to shut the government down. At this point in time, we're the only ones that have put forward a plan that actually funds the government, that defunds Obamacare. But if it gets to the point, if you want to put a face on shutdown of this government, then you look to Harry Reid. You look to those in the Senate. You look to the president. They're the ones that have been threatening this special shutdown.
Let me ask you,
we're not putting that up.
All right, fair. Now, let me ask you a direct question.
Oh, that was fair.
If, in fact, the United States Congress has to go forward with Obamacare, which is law, the Affordable Health Care Act, would you therefore say that you would not vote to shut down the funding for the rest of the government? Or are you saying in this bill that if any of this is funding the Affordable Health Care Act, that you will not go forward in paying the country's bill and paying the funds that are available for the rest of what the budget is at this point?
I will say exactly what I've been saying all along in this interview and before this interview. We are putting forward a bill that funds the government, and in the House right now, we're funding the government. We're taking care of the American people and protecting them from something in which the polls and others come out. We're not doing that.
As long as health care is not in it.
Yes.
Hey, we're putting that bill forward. We're sending it to the Senate. Now it's time for the Senate to act on this.
No.
Shut down the government, then we're fine.
Sir,
no, you're
doing that as long as health care is not in it, right?
At this point, that is the bill that we're putting forward, Al.
Which is shutting down the government if you don't have your own way.
If the president doesn't do his thing.
Right.
That's the thing. He keeps.
If the president doesn't have his way, he's going to shut down the government.
Right. Exactly.
So you can say the exact same thing.
Let's take this happy. Let's go to Happy Land for a second. And the Senate decides to pass this bill somehow, and they send it to the president. What would the president do? He would not sign it and shut down the government.
Yes.
Despite the fact that everybody else, has gone along with it, he would shut down the government because he didn't get his way. Both sides are saying, hey, look, we'll shut down the government if we don't get our way. That's how political battles happen.
Yeah.
All the time they happen that way.
Sometimes you have to play hardball, and that's what's happening right now. And apparently it's a problem for Al Sharpton. I'm sorry, I have a microphone. Apparently it's a problem for Al Sharpton.